If you've been feeling down about where things are headed with the pandemic, you're not alone. Millions of people are experiencing COVID fatigue. Dan Grossman explains how the war against an invisible enemy is also a war against exhaustion.
Is anyone tired? Tired of the lack of normalcy, the closed public spaces, the news that we're trending in the wrong direction with this pandemic? COVID fatigue is a real thing, and it's literally affecting billions of people around the world.
That it's a very uncomfortable experience for us as human beings to not have a plan, to not know how is this going to turn out? When is it going to end?
Kay Hermanson is a clinical psychologist at UC Davis Health and compares it to climbing a mountain. You're going up, and just when you think you've hit that peak, you realize it's a false summit and see this daunting hill still lying in front of you. That sinking feeling knowing you've done so much but still have so much farther to go, Hermanson says this second spike in numbers can feel like that.
We're actually hoping for the absence of something. Not getting sick isn't quite as reinforcing as something that happens where we're like, oh, okay, I know I did this behavior and it resulted in this good outcome.
It's internal, where you just kind of feel like you have those sandbags on your shoulders and you can't take another step.
Bob Champy is a licensed clinical social worker and says the feeling is something a lot of us are familiar with: burnout. The same kind you might feel at work or at home when you're a bit overwhelmed. What makes it worse is a lot of the things we do to alleviate that stress we don't have access to. So it begs the question, what can we do?
The things that we need to do are to be aware of our thinking, to say, I'll control what I can control. I'll take it a minute at a time.
Some people call them bite-sized pieces.
Champy and Hermanson say the idea is to make this situation more manageable. Instead of looking at this daunting whole, we break it up into more manageable parts. Small victories that can give us that sense of reinforcement the situation can lack.
It may even be a little bit of learned helplessness, which is that idea that in certain circumstances where we feel like nothing that we do is good enough, nothing that we do keeps bad things from happening, we kind of give up.
Another thing they suggest is adjusting our mindset. Hermanson says the simple knowledge that millions of other people are feeling exactly like us can be enough to help push us through. In Denver, I'm Dan Grossman reporting.
Outside of things like exercising or taking up a new hobby, experts say seeing a therapist can also be helpful. They say they can help guide your frame of mind to overcome burnout.